Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. Today we're going to be picking up a storyline that we started a long time ago. We gave you guys a taster test, and then we ended it. We're going to be returning to Spider-Gwen. Now, little background for those of you who may be joining us for the first time. Spider-Gwen is in an alternate universe where everything is topsy-turvy, and it's weird, and stuff is not what you're expecting. The character of Spider-Gwen came out of basically a variant cover that took off, very much like Gwenpool. But in her universe, she got her powers. Peter Parker wanted to be just like her. He created the lizard serum, which then turned him into the lizard. She fought against him, killing him, not knowing that it was Peter Parker, and she was there when he died. That death has been haunting her forever. And it brings us to today's episode of Spider-Gwen. Late night in the New York convenience store Dollar Dog, a man tells the cashier that he knows the drill. Your corn dogs or your life. The cashier sighs, stating it's the Bodega Bandit. You're just the worst. The Bodega Bandit sets down his dog, Bandito, and he tells him to go outside and make sure the coast is clear. Bandito trots outside, and he gets to eating his corn dog. But waiting in the sewers, a giant lizard crawls out hissing at Bandito. The next morning, Gwen Stacy wakes up in her apartment and quickly realizes something. She just overslept for her first day in her new job. As Gwen suits up in her Spider-Woman suit, she runs out, jumping from building to building, asking why. Why, of all days, do her web shooters decide not to work? It's only been a month since she used them. Miss Van Dyne never said anything about having to clean them. And after a short hop through traffic, Gwen makes her way into the alleyway, getting into her work clothes, stating, okay, circus lion ate my Metro pass, hobo stole my bike. However, as Gwen turns the corner, she sees her boss, Albie, sitting outside of the Dollar Dog asking what happened. Albie tells her that it's over. Ruined, kaput! This world has Spider-Woman, vultures, and giant lizard men. The police think that he's crazy. Even the insurance agent laughed. Gwen looks around to see the Dollar Dog destroyed with everything scattered about and says, well, did you say giant lizard? And Albie shouts, it ain't everything! Later that night, Gwen tracks down the only man who could have seen anything, the Bodega Bandit. As she sits on top of a dumpster, she asks, really? I just want to ask a few questions. And the voice from inside the dumpster yells, go away! Gwen rips off the top of the dumpster, telling him, all right, look, if I really wanted to bust you, I would have just carried this whole thing to the precinct. You really are the worst. She looks inside and sees the Bodega Bandit laying in the trash, asking him, are you crying? Bodega Bandit holds up Bandito's collar, telling her to just go away. He doesn't want to talk about it. A short while later, Gwen heads over to the Midtown High School, stating that it's impossible. It doesn't matter what Albie or the Bodega Bandit saw. There's no way the lizard is on the loose. No one knows that Peter Parker is actually the lizard. Well, almost no one. She starts to go through Kurt Connor's computers looking for information, and when she finds his profile, the information on his home phone and address is restricted. She grabs the computer monitor and throws it out the window, screaming, he lied! Connor's lied and she fell for it, and now he's disappeared. Gwen begins to think back to prom night, the night that everything changed, the night that Peter changed. He was shouting traitor, and when she stepped in to stop him, he told her that he wanted to be just like her, special. Later, Gwen heads down into the sewers with a backpack full of corn dogs, tossing them out, yelling, here, Lizzie, Lizzie, Lizzie. As she stops for a moment, she thinks maybe she should tell her dad the truth about Peter. She wouldn't tell May and Ben about it, but maybe she can talk to her own father. Just then, she looks over at the tunnel and sees several sets of eyes staring back at her. And before she can ask, what is that? A pack of dogs and cats stampede by, taking the corn dogs. She shouts, hey, get back here with the bait! And as Gwen gets up to chase after them, there's a hissing sound coming out of the tunnel, and a larger pair of eyes looks out. Suddenly, a giant lizard man jumps out of the shadows and starts to eat away at her bag. Gwen gets up asking, how could you, Connors? How could you betray Peter's memory? What have you done? But then more lizard men charge out of the tunnel, all swiping at Gwen. She falls to her knees thinking, no, this is just a nightmare. Peter was my friend. Whatever he's become, it wasn't this, or can it? And just then a red, white, and blue blur shoots by, hitting the lizard men. And Captain America tells Gwen, enough of this. These men are property of S.H.I.E.L.D. now. And as for you, Spider-Woman, you're under arrest. Gwen starts to get back up, stating, aw, come on! Please don't tell me you hate me too. You're my dad's favorite. Cap says that she has to the count of 3 to surrender. And Gwen tells her, wait, I didn't do any of that stuff that the police or Jameson said. I also don't know where all of these... But before she could finish, the lizardmen begin to attack her again, and Cap begins to count down. Once Cap reaches 3, she throws her shield, bouncing it off of the lizardmen and barely missing Gwen. As the shield continues to ricochet off the walls, Cap starts to swing at Gwen and then lands a hard hit into Gwen's face. A short while later, Gwen begins to open up her eyes, and Cap tells her, come on your feet, soldier. I have some questions for you. Gwen leans up, fidgeting around, asking if she's for real right now. Last time she had a head injury, she spent all day arguing with a talking pig. She tries to pull her arms forward, telling her, wait, handcuffs? And Cap tells her, don't even bother. These cuffs are vibranium. The only way out is the truth. She can begin by telling her why she was down here in the sewers to begin with and what her connection to Silk is. And who is Dr. Kurt Connors. Gwen looks over and sees Connors beginning to change back into a human and asks, whoa, you cured him? And Cap says no, what they have is a suppressant. Once the lizard mutagen bonds, there is no cure. Gwen shouts that there has to be these monsters that this can't be Peter's legacy. And who the hell is Silk? Whatever you think you know, Peter's the one who created the lizard. We were alone when he changed back. Connor hears Gwen say Peter, and then he starts to shout, Peter, Parker, I remember Parker. As Connors begins to stand back up, Cap holds up her shield, telling Gwen to get behind her, and Connor screams, what happened to Peter? Connors lunges at Cap, cutting into her stomach, and Gwen yells to him that he needs to stop and take control. When Connors turns to her, Gwen webs Cap's shield, swinging it back around, cracking Connors across the face. Connors shouts again, calling out for Peter, and as he jumps at Gwen, she holds up the shield, knocking him to the ground. She then holds the shield out to hit Connors again, but before she can, she sees an image of Peter during his change and him stating that he wanted to be just like her, a hero, someone with powers. She drops the shield, stating, no, please, no. Connors gets back up and then suddenly is shot several times in the back. Both Gwen and Connors look back and they see Detective Jean DeWolf, and Gwen asks, what is she doing here? Jean tells her to stand down, and as she turns to fire again, Gwen yells for her to stop. Jean then turns, firing into Connors' chest, but then Falcon's Red Wing flies by, cutting through Connors' chest, knocking him away. Red Wing starts to peck at Connors, and Cap gets back up, holding her stomach, telling Gwen that this op is scrapped, time to leave. Gwen yells, no, I won't let that thing get away and hurt anyone else. And Cap tells her that she cannot fight this. She is way out of her weight class. Gwen holds both of her wrists together, telling her, no, I don't work for you. I'm here to help people. Gwen then shoots her webs to the ceiling above Connors and begins to pull it back down. As Gwen struggles trying to bring the roof down, Cap grabs onto the web, stating, damn it, Spider-Woman, put your back into it. The two begin to feel the ceiling give, and a second later, the rubble and debris come down, trapping Kurt Connors. A short while later, Falcon walks through, asking Cap, what is she now? Some hippie who lets fugitives escape? Cap lets out a low laugh, telling him that there's a chain of command for those kinds of answers. The more pressing question here is, why did you let Detective DeWolf down here? Falcon tells her, hey, don't look at me. Director Peggy gave the okay. Jean then says that, like she already told her boss, what they found here is a direct link to the case that she's working on. So maybe they can help each other get a clue. Dr. Connors has been missing since this whole mess started, and now Spider-Woman is here, and from the looks of it, they just found smashed together the world's ugliest peanut butter cup. Cap tells her no. I'm afraid that doesn't seem likely. Connors and these men are not the Midtown High lizard. They're just copycats. Connors and all of these men are lab rats, weapons built by a shadow cell that we know as Silk. Based on Spider-Woman's reaction here, I'd say that if you want to find the truth out about Lizard, then you're going to need to look into the dead Parker boy. Meanwhile, over at the Stacy household, there's a knock on the door, and Matt Murdock asks, what? Not gonna let me in? Gwen's father, George, opens the door, telling him that he knows that he may not be able to see his face, but if he doesn't get off his porch in the next 30 seconds. Matt tells him, whoa. I could see that someone peed in your cereal this morning. If you're not careful, there might be trouble for you and your daughter. George steps out, asking him, what did you say about Gwen? And Matt goes on telling him that most people would say that you're a lucky man to have been saved by Spider-Woman twice. Even a blind man can see that there's more to it than that. I'm here to help you and your daughter. We know who you are and just what you can do. Matt hands George his business card and he turns to leave, telling him that if you ever need to make your own luck, call me. Back with Gwen, she heads out to the cabin with her friends, and she's supposed to be staying the night when she shows up late. She walks to the door and her friend Randy tells her that she shouldn't go in yet. Everyone is out right now, and this took him forever to set up. Gwen asks what is he even talking about, and Randy said that after all these years that they've come out here, he's finally arrived. And Gwen says, wait, you don't mean? And as the door opens, Harry Osborn says, yeah, Pretty sure he meant me. Takes a few moments, but Gwen says that it's been 2 years, 2 years, since they've seen him or heard from Harry. Harry begins to try and explain, and Gwen hugs him, telling him to just shut up. Later, as all the girls come back, everyone sits around the bonfire, laughing and talking, but Gwen doesn't feel as happy as she should. Back in school, Peter, Harry, and her, they were inseparable. She should be happy, but no one's heard from Harry since Peter's funeral. He was the one who took it the hardest, which is why she never went looking. She always hoped that maybe he was off traveling, and Peter's death convinced him to live his own life. While everyone jokes and laughs, Gwen gets up and leaves, and Harry runs after, asking her what's wrong. She hasn't said anything to him all night, and Gwen tells him that it's not anything like that. She just has had a long day and she needs to get some rest. They can catch up tomorrow morning. Harry stops her, telling her that he won't be here in the morning. He only came here tonight to see her. All of these other girls, they're her friends, her, Peter, and him. That was the stuff that he cared about. She saw what Peter became. The shadow of it all fell on everything, and he couldn't just stay there and do nothing. Again, Gwen asks, what does he mean again? Where did he go? Harry says that he's the one who caused all of this. Peter died because of him. Back then when Peter changed, he said that he was trying to, actually I'm not sure what he thought, but whatever came over him, he grabbed me shouting traitor. Gwen tells him, look, whatever Peter said or did, it wasn't him. That wasn't who Peter really was. There were years of feeling helpless and years of bottled up feelings. It was all the lizard talking. There's no way that he could have. Harry sighs, telling him, I saw it all. I just stood there and watched Peter die. Spider-Woman was there gloating. I asked her to stop, but Spider-Woman just toyed with me. Peter worshipped her, and she broke his heart. Gwen says, but Peter was out of control. Spider-Woman was trying to help. She didn't know that it was Peter. Harry stops her, telling, yeah, but I knew. I knew, and I didn't say anything to try and stop it. I just stood there, frozen like a coward. For 2 years, I've lived knowing that I could have done something. I swore that I would make it up to Peter and never freeze again. Harry takes out a small device, pressing a button, and he continues talking. I went to war. The army taught me how to fight, and S.H.I.E.L.D. taught me how to kill. A goblin glider flies down, and Harry says, whatever happens next to me, just know I did it for Peter. I did it for us. Harry jumps onto the glider, and Gwen says, where are you going? And Harry tells her, she's still out there. Peter's killer is still on the loose, and I'm going to be the one who stops her. I'm the only one who can bring Spider-Woman to justice. And there you have it, guys. Spider-Gwen has been brought to the channel. Now, it is up to you, the viewer, to let me know if you want more Spider-Gwen. Recently, we've been trying out a bunch of new superheroes, from strong female leads to independent books. So this is going to follow in vein with that stuff. Give this video a like, share it with your friends, and tell me in the comments down below, Benny, do more Spider-Gwen. I want to see that Green Goblin stuff. I want to see what's going to happen. I want to see her become Gwenom, aka Venom with Spider-Gwen. It's a thing. Woo! Anyway, guys, don't forget, you can also find us right here by subscribing. You can also go to twitch.tv/eligiblemonster to find us, and on Twitter @Comicstorian. And I'll see you next time right here.